One thing is clear with Vic Fangio. He don't give up. Dallas still stinks. You by the way, kick Dingbat here, and one thing about Vic Fangio, he don't care. He don't care. If you're not good enough to be on the field, then you're not going to be on the field. He don't care what anybody says. The head coach, Howie, nobody. And this is exactly what is happening with Devin White and one Bryce Huff. And we got to ask ourselves, what does this mean going forward for the Eagles? Now, we're going to get into it in a second. But before that, I want to talk about this. Get ready. This is going to be the first of many. While the Cowboys roll out their little Zeke Elliott. Did you see Zeke run the other day? He's like, oh, I'm so old on my back. He's old. He's old. He's slow. He stinks. Meanwhile, Barkley, he's at the top of his game. Philadelphia Eagles said this. Are you even surprised? Me? No. If there's one thing I'm not surprised about is that Barkley has been named NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I saw this thing coming a mile away. A mile away. I still can't believe that the over/under on his touchdowns were 7.5. We're like halfway there already. Almost halfway there. But Barkley is named NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Well-deserved. First of many. And listen, I expect Barkley to have another big game this week. Remember, Barkley has never, ever, just like a lot of Cowboy fans, young ones, never seen their team in a championship game. He has never been on a team with this offensive talent in the NFL. It's really crazy because when you think of the Giants, you think, they had Daniel Jones off his line. You know that they all stunk. But did you know that they stunk and still were overrated? They were that bad. They stink. It's not even a question. Barkley gonna have a monster year. I expect another big game from him this week. Now, here's what we want to talk about today, because this is what everybody's talking about. Vic Fangio, the Eagles coaches hold press conferences. Vic Fangio gets up there and he don't give a crap. He don't care what Howie says. He don't care what anybody says. If you're not playing up to standards, you are not going to be on the field. You are not going to see it, okay? Zach Byrne wrote this. Fangio said in order for Bryce Huff to play more, he's going to have to separate himself from other edge rushers, which he has not done. Huff played fourth among edge rushers, okay? And he also said about Brandon Graham that he made it clear that Brandon Graham is still a good player, and he's not a ceremonial player, and he's still going to play. And Brandon Graham goes out there and can still play. Now, one of the big issues with Bryce Huff is that he can't stop the run. He's not. He's not able to. And yesterday you had Nick Sirianni kind of like, shoo everything. Vic Fangio doesn't, okay? He also said this. He also said this about Nakobe Dean and the starting spot.
No, Nakobe's the starter.
With Bryce usage.
So it's clear Vic Fangio don't care. And I got to tell you, I think this is a breath of fresh air for the Eagles. I love it. I love this attitude. If you're not good enough to be on the field, if you can't do what he's asking you to do, then you don't play. And he doesn't care how he calls down and says, well, he needs to play because we're paying him all this money. No, you can't play. You're not going to play. And that's what's happening with Bryce Huff. Now, will Bryce Huff be able to get it together? Perhaps. I'm hoping this Monday night Bryce Huff goes out there and shows that he needs to be on the field and he starts winning the job. When you pay a guy a lot of money like that, you want him to be able to go out there and produce. And if you bring him in and he doesn't produce, that's a big problem. That's a major problem going forward for the Eagles. Somebody has to emerge. Okay, somebody not named Josh Sweat. And I say that because Josh Sweat he has to emerge himself. And he was not available on Friday either. Where was he? Didn't see him. But he has to play well already. You have to pencil Sweat in to be good. And then you need somebody else. Whether it's Nolan Smith, whether it's Bryce Huff. And the reason I say that about Josh Sweat is because Josh Sweat has been in this league long enough and he's had good years enough times that he should be out there being consistent. And I think he will. I think Sweat will get you 8 to 10 sacks by the time this whole thing is over. Of course, you have Jalen Carter. I think he's going to do what he's going to do. But the question is you're going to need somebody else to step up. Who's it going to be? Nolan Smith? Brandon Graham? Is it going to be Bryce Huff? If it's not Bryce Huff, listen, my biggest fear is we made a giant mistake. We made one too many moves in letting Haason Reddick go. Because if you had, at one point, you had Huff on this team at the same time as Haason Reddick. So people think and forget the Haason Reddick Huff thing was not a trade, okay? That was a signing. They could have Haason Reddick and Huff on this team right now, but they chose not to do it. They gave him all that money, Huff, and we need him to step up. And I think Vic Fangio, the one thing I want to say is I like what I've seen from the defense. From Vic Fangio down, I like the things I'm seeing. I like the way that they played versus the Packers. I thought that they kept us in the game early on. We don't win it if they don't play the way they did. So I like what we've seen from them. Okay, I like it. I like the young Cooners. I like the linebackers, and I like the way Vic Fangio. I don't necessarily love his scheme, but I like his attitude and his approach and how he goes about his business. I love that, and it's very honest, and he tells you what he thinks. He gives me Jim Johnson type feels, and I like that. I like that about him. Now the question is going to be this: who is going to emerge and be that other pass rusher? That Sweat better be one of them. Then we need somebody else. Who's it going to be? And what happens if you get to week 3, week 4, and these guys aren't producing? What if Huff isn't being able to get more snaps? Will Howie start pressuring Fangio to make Huff play more snaps because he's paid him all that money? These are all the things that we're going to have to figure out and we're going to have to see. But the thing I'll say about this is, and the one good thing about this whole thing is, the good thing with the Eagles and the good thing with Howie Roseman is that if something isn't working, Howie will make a move to fix it. He will make a move to fix it. Who's that move? Where's that move? Obviously, it's going to be another pass rusher. Obviously, the guy that you have to look at, if the Eagles have to go, if they cannot figure this in-house and they cannot get production from any of these other guys, you're going to have to look elsewhere by the trade deadline. And the number one target that I'm going to be looking at is Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack has played for Vic Fangio. Khalil Mack knows Vic Fangio. He just got finished praising him a few weeks ago. And the question with Mack is, he's 33 years old. How much does he have left? I can't help but remember what Robert Quinn did. 17 sacks the year before, or 17 and a half sacks the year before, comes to the Eagles and does nothing. But before he came to the Eagles that year, he did nothing, and we should have known better. So we need to keep an eye on Khalil Mack, because I think he would be the guy that the Eagles look to and go to if they need another pass rusher. I'm just saying. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying it should happen, although I would like it to happen. I'm just saying that if you can't figure it out in-house and nobody can emerge. I mean, maybe Jalen Hunt is the answer. That is always possible. He gets ready, he gets in there, and he does his thing. We got to figure it out, we got to get these guys going. But if you have to go out of house, and the fact that Matt Judon has already been traded, we're going to see him this week. But if you have to go outside to get somebody, Khalil Mack has got to be the target. And Khalil Mack looks like he's already showing he still can play. Week 1, Guy has 1.5 sacks. So he's already had 1.5 sacks on the year. Come here, cat. This cat's trying to knock my camera down. Come here, Van Dam. Say hi. Say hi. Here you go. Go play. So, Khalil Mack, 1.5 sacks already this season. I think the thing with Khalil Mack is, we'll see where the Chargers at, but if they look to trade him, I think the Eagles have to jump all in that. I think Khalil Mack coming back, playing with Vic Fangio, it just makes too much sense. But hopefully, the first thing we want to do is we want to go out there and we want to make sure that we take care of business and get our own guys playing. And Huff is going to have to play a lot better. As far as Devin White goes, listen, Devin White, I couldn't have been more wrong about it. I'm shocked that he lost his starting job that quickly, and that's just the way it is. But as with any player, just because you like a guy, which I do like Devin White, just because you like him, if he's not playing good enough, if he's not good enough, then he shouldn't start. And I'm glad that Nakobe Dean has played as well as he has too. We'll still need Devin White this year, and we'll use him, but that's just the way it is. Can't be upset about Fangio and his approach and how he handles things. Now, we got to go out and we got to get this defensive line and this pass rush going. We got to get these edge rushers going. We got to get Bryce Huff up to speed so he can go make and earn his money. And if that can't work, then how we got to get on the phone and get Khalil Mack's ass over here. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Oh, yeah, one thing. I will be streaming Thursday Night Football. So I think it's Miami-Buffalo. So it should be a good game. We'll put some bets in and all that kind of stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. Come through, hang out if you want. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. All right, so we got some breaking news that came as I finished the end of this video, so I might as well put this in the post-credit scene. But the Eagles have signed safety Caden Stearns to the practice squad, and they have released tight end Jack Stahl. So, I don't know, no big surprise there. If the Giants release Stahl, how much could he really have left? That's the question. But that's what the Eagles did. Now, a non-Eagles question I have for you guys. All right, so let me get this straight. Let me ask you guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Did you see this PlayStation just came out? What, PlayStation Pro? So PS5 Pro, right? $700 mother humping dollars. $700 for a mid-generation upgrade? I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do this. I mean, I could do it. I just don't know if I want to do it. I don't know that I want to go spend $700 on a mid console. I hate that. Just give me the next generation stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, there ain't been anything really that great for me in terms of this generation anyways. Nothing that I say, oh yeah, that game is the defining game of this generation. I haven't felt it. I haven't seen that Resident Evil. I haven't seen that Last of Us. I haven't felt it. So, I don't know. PlayStation Pro, what do you guys think? Are you going to go and spend $700 on a device that, when they compare the two, to me, it didn't look all that much different anyways. I don't know. Denzel Washington out.
Hi, Michael Anthony Fitness here, MAF.
all, folks.
The brother screwed us.